Missing a few. Quite a few. Eli. Chip. Sterling. All right, I'm going to give everybody a couple minutes to get in here. Whew. All right. Let's see. We're still missing a few, but I don't want to waste too much time. I am also, however, going to. That's not what I want. No, no, stop. I want this link. If you have not yet given me a senior quote for the yearbook, we're finishing those pages right now. So right there's the survey for you to go put in your senior quote. I think I'm only missing senior quotes from 3 people, and I don't know who off the top of my head. But it would be so boring if you don't have a senior quote when everybody else does. I mean, it's up to you. Or I can make up something dumb for you. That's also an option. Okay.
That's a dangerous gamble to just let Miss McClellan do your senior quote for you. It'd be kind of fun, though.
I think it would be really fun.
Of course you do.
I would either pick something really dumb or like quote Shakespeare or something and make people be like, God, that kid was really smart. Depends on how much I like you.
You're something completely out of character for that person, so that all the students are like, what in the world?
I know. God, it would be really funny though.
I agree with Chip.
Yeah, I think it'd be really funny. I mean, like, especially considering the fact that I know what Troy's senior quote is. It would be really funny to have like a big long Shakespeare quote from Troy. Everyone would be like, "What?"
That should be the punishment. If you don't get your senior quote in by a certain date, you don't get to submit one. Miss McClellan gets to make one up for you.
I like that. I like that a lot. Actually, let me see. I'm going to go back into my sent emails for just a sec.
Oh, I'm so sorry to the people who haven't done that yet.
We could always just say that Eli forgot to send his, and you can put something about him being like the best jazz player.
I mean, I have a lot of power with this. Let's see. Senior yearbook quote. Who has not? They're all in this class. Corey, Hayward, and Nate. I don't have senior quotes from you guys. You're in danger of me coming up with something very uncharacteristic for you. Okay, we're missing Christian today. We're missing Hayward today. Right? Yes. We now have Troy. We now have Nate. Okay. Okie doke. I like that one. I'll put it. I don't know that he doesn't like turtles. Okay, I'm going to share my screen with you guys for just a minute and show you what we're working on today, and then go through a couple of things with you, because we have an assignment, but then it's like after this assignment, these are all the things that you need to do. It's kind of a lot. Okay, so we looked at the William Blake poems yesterday. I went back and just reversed the first two so that you could have like innocence, experience. So hopefully that works on your Canvas version of it. But what I want you to do is take a look back at the 4 poems from yesterday. They can kind of be analyzed as 2 sets, which we talked about: the lamb versus the tiger, and the first chimney sweeper versus the second chimney sweeper. The lamb and the chimney sweeper are from Songs of Innocence, and the tiger and the second chimney sweeper are from Songs of Experience. So I want you to reflect on and respond to these questions. And there's not like a certain word number you guys have to hit or anything. You just have to answer these questions. How do you see a childlike point of view in the 2 poems from Songs of Innocence? So the lamb and the first chimney sweeper. How did the 2 poems from Songs of Experience, the tiger and the second chimney sweeper, reflect a more adult experienced perspective? What is the role of spirituality or religion in these poems? And how do you see that change from the Innocence poems to the Experience poems? And lastly, which poem do you think shows the most gritty, realistic view of life? And how does it show that? I'd be surprised if your answer was not one of the 2 chimney sweepers. You can make an argument, but I think those are probably the more obvious options. So when you've completed this, I want you to do 3 things. First of all, I want you to look through your grades for quarter 2 on Power School. If you have any zeros, but you're like, oh, I don't think I should have that 0, I'm pretty confident I turned that in, double check with me about it. I definitely made a couple of mistakes for one of you and called me out on that, and I appreciate it, because I just like totally missed an email. That's kind of the complicated thing about Canvas versus getting things on email. Sometimes things just fall through the cracks, and that sucks. But that's why you guys should be checking your grades. Now, if you have a 0 and you're like, I don't think I should have that 0, you might still ought to have that 0. I'm not saying that I'm going to take away all your zeros, but if you feel like I definitely turned that in and I want you to double check, then by all means, let me know about it. The second thing, and I emailed some of you about this, if you did not submit the 17th and 18th century quiz, the satire essay, or the original ballad, send that to me today. If you get it submitted today, I won't count it late. I've been really slow with grading these assignments, and that kind of demands a little bit of grace from you guys. So I'm going to give y'all a little bit of grace to get those in today as well. And lastly, work on your Jane Eyre presentation. They're due tomorrow night. But after tomorrow in class, after we do attendance, I'm just going to give you the whole period to work on those. So before I send you guys kind of loose to work on these things, I do want to quickly go back into the Jane Eyre assignment and just kind of reiterate what I'm looking for here. This only has to have 6 slides, and your first slide is going to be like a title slide with your name on it and the title of your presentation, which can be something like Jane Eyre Romanticism presentation. You don't have to be super creative there. Each slide should contain one element of the story, and you can choose like a particular character, a relationship between characters, a setting, a particular thing that happens in the story, anything, and explain how this element reflects one of the characteristics of romantic literature or the Romantic era that we took notes on in class. And I think I uploaded the notes, maybe I didn't, but even if I didn't, I kind of listed all the things about Romanticism down here. Some characteristics that you would want to consider: themes of romantic love, philosophy, or expression of feelings, incorporation of the arts, imagination over reason, unity of emotion and logic, reconciliation of differences and opposites, importance of nature and all of these different ways that nature can be important, a greater emphasis on poetry, individualism, unusual romantic heroes, everyday realism, or beautiful soul in an ugly body. So I don't want to give you guys any, like, I don't want to do it for you or anything, but as an example of one slide that you could do, you could show, one of your slides could say, like, the title of your slide or like the main text in it could be like Mr. Rochester after the fire. And you could talk about how that reflects a beautiful soul in an ugly body, because he's kind of like deformed now. He is blind for a while. He definitely considers himself to be gross. I think he said something about being a ruined tree. But he's still capable of love, and Jane finds things to love in him. So that kind of reflects the idea of a beautiful soul in an ugly body. So just like the main text of your slide would be the thing that you're focusing on, and then you would have some text to explain how that reflects one of these elements. Any more questions about that? I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. Okay, so you have multiple things to do. I think I set the poetry reflection to still be open until tomorrow night, so it wouldn't be late if you turned it in tomorrow, because I also realized that I'm giving you a lot of things, and most of those things won't take much time, but I just want to make sure that you have the time to work on those. So I'm going to shut off my camera and mute myself. If you guys want to leave and work independently, you can. If you want to stay and ask questions, I'm sure there's plenty to ask about, because I know that's kind of a lot, but just let me know if you guys have questions.